to the second part of the video on Python list. In the first video, we discussed about the properties of Python list, and we said that it is ordered, changeable, and allowed duplicate values. Then we also looked into how to take account of the items in a Python list. So, and we had to use the len function, and then we looked into the type function, in getting to confirm if the object type that we are dealing with is a list. And then we also looked at utilizing the list constructor to convert from one object, okay, into a list object. And then we looked at assessing list items, okay, how to assess list items by their index numbers, okay. And then in that particular aspect, we looked at negative indexing, when we are taking the index number from the back or from the end of the list. And then we also saw how to change list items when you are changing a single value, and then also when you are changing a range of value. And then lastly, in that video, we looked at how to add list items using the append, using the insert, and then using the extend functions. And we know the peculiarities that are synonymous to each of the functions. So moving ahead in this video, we are going to be looking into removing the list items. So then we want to, in removing the list item, we want to take let me just give me a second. Let me pull out a list. Let's use this particular list. Okay, so now so this is a list. I'll call this my fruits. Okay, so we want to remove, if we want to remove banana, let's say the banana for instance, I can use remove function. So I'll say and then print my fruits. Okay, so can you see that? So banana has been removed. So you have pineapple, cucumber, cherry, watermelon, banana. Just a second, please. Pineapple, cucumber, cherry, down to berry. Okay, which is the last item on the list. So anytime you call in the remove function, you can be able to specify the item you want to remove. Then there's another function that is called the pop, okay, pop. So you have my underscore fruits, okay, dot pop. Now with the pop, you can be able to call out you can be able to remove the item based on their index. Okay, just as I showed to you in the first video. Banana is having an index of 0, pineapple is having an index of 1, cucumber is having an index of 2, cherry 3, 4, 5, 6 to the very end. So you can be able to, if let's say you don't know the particular name, but you know the index of the index number of the item you want to remove, you can use the pop function. So if let's say I want to remove cherry, for instance, I'll now, cherry is 0, 1, 2, 3. So cherry is 3. I'll simply put 3, and then I'll print my fruits. Okay, and then I'll just comment this out. When I run this, you can see that cherry is no longer in the output. So that is how you can be able to remove item based on their index number. Then if I give this an empty argument, okay, I did not put any value, so and I run pop without any index, we will remove the last item on the list. So, and the last item is berry. So when we run this now, you can see that berry is no longer in the last item, it has been removed. So you want to take note of some of these changes when you are working. Then the next one that we have is the delete function. So you have my fruits. So with the delete function, you can work with it in several ways. You can say delete, okay, my fruits. Now with this, you can be able to specify the index that you want to delete. So let's say we want to delete watermelon. So watermelon is this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So watermelon is 4. So I'll come here and say delete. I'll pass in the index of 4, and then I'll print my underscore fruits. Okay, so I'll just need to comment this out. Now when I run, okay, so you can see that watermelon is no longer in the output. So watermelon has been taken away. Then also you can use the delete function to delete the entire lists. Okay, so let me copy this out and then let me drop it here. So if we are to use the delete function, I'll say delete my underscore fruits. So when I run this now, okay, so if I were to print my fruits, let's see what it will give to us. Okay, so can you see that it says my fruit is not defined, meaning that this my fruit has been deleted, and because of that there is no record of my fruit in the database any longer. So that is what delete function can do. Remember, it can delete the entire list, both the lists constructor and the item itself, and then also it can also delete the item based on the index number. Now the last removing method in Python is called the clear. It's clear dot clear. So you have my fruits. Okay, so what dot clear does is that dot clear removes only the items in the list, leaving out an empty list. It removes the item in the list, so all these items will be removed, then producing an empty list. So now when we run this, we say my fruit dot clear, and then we try to print my underscore fruits. So let's see, can you see that an empty list is what is outputted? So that is what dot clear does. It removes only the items that are in the list. So these are the methods you can use to remove items in a list. So moving ahead, we'll be going into looping through a list. And of course, when you are looping through a list, there are several things that makes you to loop through a list. Sometimes as a list is arranged horizontally, you may not be able to see the items very well. So and you want to loop through them so that you can be able to see the items correctly, or to try to investigate. Maybe you want to investigate an item in the list, so you may be needing the looping the for loop function. So looping through a list, you can do it through several ways. The first one is the for loop, and the second is the while loop. So using the for loop, we want to say for I in, okay, I'll quickly bring this, I'll copy this out. Okay, so I'll say for I in my fruits, okay, print I. So what I'm trying to say is Python, if you are scanning through all these items in this list, represent each of the item by the letter I. So instead of me calling forth print my fruit here again, I will now put in the I, okay, the letter I. So the I will represent all the items in my fruit. So when I print this out now, can you see that? So it is also all the items are now arranged in vertical order. So you can be able to now analyze, or you can be able to investigate any letter, any item you want to work on. And then also with the for loop, you can be able to ascertain which, if there is an item in the list, so if I want to ascertain if banana is in the list, I can say if banana in I, print I. Okay, when I run this now, can you see that it will give to me the number of values that are having banana? Okay, so you can see that. So that is how you can be able to use the for loop. This is the for loop. Now there's another type of loop that is called the while loop. Please, you can do well to check my video on the differences between for loop and the while loop. Now, in using the while loop, we want to print out the items in the list using their index, using the index number. So for that, I will say I, okay, equals 0, okay, because every item has, the beginning of every item has an index of 0. So I'll say I equals 0, okay, and then I'll say while, just a bit, okay, I'll say while I is less than length, okay, that is the number of items in my list. So I'll say while I is less than the number of items. Now I want it to print for me my fruits and then the I. So now you should also increase it by 1. You should increase by 1. That means if it is increasing by 1, it will go from banana, pineapple, cucumber. If I say increase by 2, it will go from banana, it will avoid pineapple and jump to cucumber. So that is how you can be able to specify the intervals you want the while loop to run. So let me comment this out. So now when we run this, let's see what it will give to us. Okay, can you see that now? So banana, pineapple, cucumber, cherry. Okay, so it is looping through it by 1. So if we say we want to loop through by 2, can you see that now? So this is banana, it went from banana, okay, it jumped over pineapple and then get to cucumber, and then to watermelon. So you can be able to specify the intervals you want the items to appear on in the output. So that is how you can be able to use the looping function. So to loop through a list. Then the list comprehension. The list comprehension is an extensive subtopic under Python list, and I'm going to create a separate video on that. It's very, very extensive. So the next point we want to go into is sorting list item. You want to sort list item, and of course, you know that sorting is very, very important, because sometimes when you are putting in items in a list, you may not be paying real attention to how they are arranged, whether in ascending order or in descending order. So we want to see how we can be able to work on that too. So we say, okay, so this is a list of fruits. So if I want to sort this, I'll say my underscore fruits. I'll bring in the sort function, sort, okay, and then let me print. So the default mode for sorting is to sort it as in ascending order. It will sort in ascending order. So you can see banana, berry, okay, so, and then cherry, this is C, okay, then you go to G down to W. So it sets it from ascending, from lowest to the biggest, or from the smallest to the highest, kind of. So that is the default setting for the sort function. Now there are instances, if you want to set it at default, you say ascending equals false. Okay, so it will now produce, okay, this says it is an invalid keyword for sort. Okay, let's see. Okay, not that. I think it's reverse equals true. Okay, let's see. Good. So this is it. So reverse equals true, and not descending equals ascending equals false. So so when you use the reverse function, it is going to reverse it from the biggest to the smallest, or from the highest to the lowest. Then the next thing you want to take note of using the sort function is there are times that when putting in the items in the list, let's take for example W. Instead of it being in small letter, the W can be in capital letter in this form, and then the pineapple can also be in capital letter. So when you are working with this kind of a data, and you want to sort it, okay, Python by default, Python sorts the list based on the item that is having that is in capital letter. Okay, so that means the sort function is case sensitive. It will arrange the capital letters first before getting into the small letters. So let's see that. So you can see Python, pineapple with a capital letter P comes before W with a watermelon with a capital letter W, and then before it goes to banana. Can you see that? So in cases like this, you may become weary and all that. So but then there is a way out. So instead you say key equals reverse, or you say string dot lower. Okay, so when you call in the string dot lower, what happens is Python is going to interpret all of them as items that are in lowercase. So when we run this, okay, let's see, sort takes no positional arguments. Sort takes no positional arguments. Let's see what that means. Okay, I think key equals, okay, good. So this is it. So now can you see that? So you have banana, banana, berry, okay, cherry, and then pineapple and watermelon. So we are trying to say, okay, Python, sort these items, okay, but imagine each of these items to be in lower case. So that is how you can be able to rectify the challenge with case sensitive lists items. Then moving ahead with the next point is how to reverse a list. How to reverse a list. Now there are times that regardless of the alphabet you want to reverse. Okay, so when you are reversing, of course you are changing the uh, the 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 arrangement, okay, the arrangement of the list. So with that you use a function called dot reverse. Okay, dot reverse. Now let's look into this list again. Okay, we'll say dot reverse. Okay, and then let's print this out. Let's see. Okay, so you can see it, so it has reversed it. Let me make some changes here. This is P, okay, and then this is W. Okay, so we have berry, granite, guava, banana, watermelon, cherry, cucumber, and down to the rest. So it is able to do or to reverse the order of a list. Remember, regardless of the alphabet, it orders it reverses it regardless of the alphabet. So we want to take note of this particular function. This is not in descending order, okay, it's more like a random function that changes the initial position, okay, that the items were. Now the next thing we want to look into is copying list item. Copying list item. There are several times you are working in Python and you want to make a copy of a list. Of course, that is very easy. You have to use the copy function. Okay, so you can say dot copy. Okay, and when you are doing it dot copy, you want to assign it to a new variable name. Okay, so you say my underscore fruits 2 equals my underscore fruits dot copy. Okay, and then when you run this, when you run this, so can you see that? So it has successfully made a copy. So my fruits 2 is a copy of my fruits. Can you see that now? So that is why it was able to output this. So that is the way you can be able to make a copy of a list. And of course, another way is you using the list function. Using the list function. So let's say this is my fruits 3. Okay, and then you want to use the list constructor. You say list, okay, my underscore fruits dot, sorry, let me reverse this. Okay, okay, so so you say my underscore fruits 3 equals lists, okay, and then you bring in my fruits. Can you see that? So when we print my underscore fruits 3, let's run this and see what it will give to us. Okay, so now when you run this, you can see that it has been copied. So these are the two ways. You either use the dot copy or you use the list constructor to convert. It's basically to either to convert from one object to list, or to re-emphasize on that particular object if it is a list into another list. Then the next item we want to look at is joining list. There are several ways you can join lists. The first way is, let's bring this list down, okay, and then when you bring it down this way, then you have you want to join multiple lists. So let's say we have another list, my fruits 2 equals let's say this is mango, cashew, pear, avocado. Okay, let's just leave it like this. And then there are two ways you can use to join. You can say, you can call this my fruits 3, and then you can join my fruits plus my underscore fruits 3, or no, my underscore fruits 2. So if we want to print this out, let's see my underscore fruits 3. Okay, so can you see that now? So now when you use this plus function, okay, it is going to start at the addition of this particular item from the last item on the first list. So you have berry, and then when the second list is added, it will start with mango. So after berry, you are expected to have mango. Can you see that? So it will start from the end of the second item, will be added to the first item from the end of the end list of the first item. And then the second method is using the append function or the extend function. Now in using the extend function, you can say my fruits, okay, dot extend my underscore fruits 2. Okay, and then we want to print my underscore fruits. Okay, so can you see that? So this is how it has been able to do, or to extend it. There's another way also you can be able to use using the append. So this is for extend, but whenever you want to use the append, you have to use the for loop. Okay, you have to make use of the for loop. So using the for loop, you say for I in my underscore fruits, okay, 2, my fruits dot append, okay, I. Now when we print my fruits, okay, so we are trying to say for every item in my fruits 2, okay, which is this item here, okay, for every one of them, add to my fruits, and as you add to my fruits, print out the result. So when I run this, okay, so you can see that this is the list. I think there is a little mistake here, just a second. Let me copy this out. Let me paste this. Okay, so I run. Okay, so now this is it. So this is how you can be able to join multiple lists together using the append function, using the extend function and then using the plus sign. So with this, we have actually come to the end of the Python list. So in the next video, we shall be moving into Python tuple as a Python object.